What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, and or welcome to Attacking Unlocked. I did a previous video on Defense Unlocked, and before that, a video series on every single playstyle and how they translate into on the pitch action, because these things are very important to know. They are the foundation with how you will perform on the pitch. You absolutely need to match how you attack and defend with a correct play style that will suit that, because if you have a mismatch way that you're playing, for instance, maybe you're defending and pressuring with the player that you're controlling, but the play style you choose has a defense that drops back and everyone gets behind the ball, well, then you're going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. If you're looking to attack and play a bunch of short passes, but you're using, for instance, quick counter, and all your players are looking to run away and get in behind, well, you're going to struggle. So in the Defense Unlocked video, we talked about the 4 components that make up a playstyle. There's 2 defensive and 2 attacking. So the 2 defensive components, which we went over in Defense Unlocked, are your line height of your defense and the pressure you put on the attacking team. The 2 attacking components of a playstyle are the type of attacking movement your players will make off the ball and the type of passes your players will look to receive. So, for example, on screen, my team in the white is playing out wide. I just won the ball. Look at my wing players. They are all the way out wide, and that's where they're looking to receive the ball. Once I would play the ball out wide, my middle players would then go to support short, as others, if we're near the box, would look to flood the box and receive a cross. That is how the attacking playstyle out wide breaks down. All of your AI players are going to move accordingly, and then it's up to you with your user control to complement that, right? So, for instance, if you win the ball and then look to play a direct through ball down the middle every single time, it's not going to work very well, because your players are immediately moving out wide, and that's where they want to receive the ball. So then your players can either go support short and or crash the box if you're around the box for a cross. If you're looking to play through the middle, you need to switch your play style up, because out wide definitely is not the right play style. Same thing if you're looking to play a bunch of short passes and work your way up using tiki-taka. You're not going to use out wide, because your players are going to spread out. They're not going to be looking to receive short passes. So then you see how off the ball movement and passing type ties together, obviously along with the most important thing, which is how you want to play. Attacking components of all the play styles would look like this. Long ball and long ball counter have the most direct passing. You win the ball, your players are looking to get up and out and behind, right? In long ball, they're more direct up and down. Long ball counter, you get some wide movement along with moving up the pitch, so they stretch the width and the length. Out wide is exactly how it sounds. Your players look to move out wide and receive the ball, just like I was just talking about. The only short passes you might get out of that is if you're away from the goal, your middle players will come short once you play the ball out wide to support and maybe make a wall pass, and then you're still looking to get the ball down towards the end line, out wide, and look for a cross. That's what out wide looks to do. Then you obviously have quick counter and possession. Both of those, if you remember, defensively have that pressure defense, and then when you win the ball in possession, your players come towards the ball. They collapse and look to receive short passes, and you can work the ball up using tiki-taka type of play style, a bunch of short passes in a row until you can break through on goal. And then quick counter, which has been the meta for a while, and now it's sort of giving way to long ball counter, but essentially quick counter has been the meta because you have a pressure defense, and then once you win the ball, you play immediate through balls, and your players are looking to get in behind. Now, if you look it up, technically they say that the passing type for quick counter is mixed, but really what a vast majority of these low skill players have turned it to is quick counter has become just a through ball spamming play style, right? So you combine the pressure defense with a really pencil thin, tight together formation, so your opponent has no holes to play the ball through, and then immediately once you win the ball, your players take off looking to get in behind, and you just spam through balls the entire time. That's largely what quick counter has become. Now, why it's giving way to long ball counter is because the passing system was revamped. Passing is more important than ever, and if you have good passers in your team, combined with those direct long and out wide runs of long ball counter, you can really play some killer passes to get it in on goal, even from deep distances. So you can see the attraction of lower skill players to want to do anything that will limit how many passes they have to make to get in on goal. However, with that deeper defensive line and not having that pressure defense, long ball counter can and will scare a lot of those lower skill players away, because with pressure defense, they just sort of hold down R1, hold down X, and there's not much skill needed. You can have skill when you press, but many of the lower skill players, they just don't. And with a deeper line defense, you're going to have to press at some point. You're going to have to time it right. You're going to have some skill to defend. However, there's always rats. They always try to find a way, and I notice that if there are some lower skill rats playing long ball counter, they'll simply pack a lot of players behind the ball and then immediately play that through ball and try to send one or two players, up the field to get that killer pass right away. So it limits how much they have to actually build the ball up and play football. So the conclusion about rats is that you're going to find them in every game. My only problem with eFootball is that it's such an amazing game, but Konami chose to water this game down to fit this large amount of lower skill players, instead of urging them to have to, if they want to play and compete and truly win, urging them to have to get better at the game. They gave them assistance after more assistance to make it easier on them, and that's where it can get frustrating. But we are fighting the good fight, and this game is by far and away the best pure football game. It's the only game that I truly get that same satisfaction feeling that I got playing real football when I turned a corner and started doing better at something or accomplishing something, a new feat along my journey, up as a real life football player. And you get that same sort of satisfaction as you get better in eFootball. So you've now got the right play style that matches how you want to play, and you're choosing the players that you want in your team based on not only their attributes like in many football games, but also their individual playing style, not to be confused with the team play style. How it ties in is that your team moves as a unit based on the team play style, and then each individual player, their movement is based on their individual play style, such as target man, deep lying forward, creative playmaker, defensive fullback, attacking fullback, so on and so forth. And there's a way to turn those play styles off and just have them play according to their position proficiency. If they have high proficiency and no play style, they'll play just based on how the team play style wants movement from that position. All of this is explained in another video regarding player movement. I strongly suggest you watch that video, just like all of the different playstyle videos and Defense Unlocked. And if you haven't caught what I'm throwing, just like previously I've stated, all these combine to help you find success on the pitch. So make sure that you don't just throw players in your team based on their overall attributes or based on who you like. Make sure you're looking at those individual play styles and then utilizing those play styles or turning them off, as well as utilizing individual instructions if they will help you. Now, all of this combined will put you in a great place to succeed. But there is one last thing you need to learn outside of just going on the pitch and performing, which is the individual skill set each player has. Now, this is for defense and offense, but as it pertains to attack, you need to know the different types of passing and the different types of shooting, as well as the different skill moves that players can perform. Because knowing this means you know when and where on the pitch different things will work, because you know what different players are capable of. If, for instance, you go for a certain turn that one player doesn't have, and then you go for it and you're expecting it on the pitch, they could turn a totally different way and you lose the ball. If you're at a certain angle and you were expecting a certain shot, but let's say your player has not only doesn't possess the shot you're thinking they do, but they also have a terrible weak foot, you just wasted a chance to score, where if you made an extra pass to the next player over, you would have gotten a much better shot, which means a much better chance of scoring, because that player possesses whatever it is, a blitz curler or an outside of the foot curler, or even with passing, you go to make a through pass with the wrong player, it gets intercepted, whereas if you made an extra ground pass, the next player has great passing and through passing, and that could have led to a scoring opportunity. So you see where this is an AI-driven game, but you are controlling it, and a lot of the skill gap comes in you knowing all of these details that I'm talking about in this video. Then you add to that how you perform on the pitch, and you have a good eFootball player or a bad eFootball player. And in between that, you have the ratty eFootball players that don't want to take the time to learn all this and really do all this stuff. So they start spamming certain things and using all of the assistance they can, such as smart assist. But if you're one of those type of players, I promise you this isn't the channel for you, because we are all about learning, improving, and that's how we get the satisfaction that makes this game worth playing, just like real football. So, with all of that being said, keep grinding, keep having fun, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.